Okay, go ahead. Okay, so this is just the clips from this piece at the top of the bumper. So I write on here bumper top, and I write read Scion. Right, so these parts will go in a box. These parts, it's hard to keep these together. This has got silicone on it, so if you take tape and you try to tape it to it, this is how parts get lost, right? Try to tape it on there. There's silicone on this, right? So you might get the baggie and it's just gonna fall right off, right? And you can wrap tape around it or whatever. A lot of guys do that. But I just don't like to do that. I like to keep all my parts in a box. And if I'm gonna tape it to the part, then I'm gonna wrap it all the way around the part, right? But your boss sees you doing this and he's gonna be like, what the heck are you doing with all my tape? So that's why I prefer to put these parts in a box, because even then, if somebody breaks this tape, you could lose it. But I even label these parts on the back side. Okay, what everything's for, every single part gets labeled. Bagged and tagged is the description. You put it in a bag and you tag it. And these hood stops also hold the bumper on, like a double clip. Okay, so now the top of the bumper is loose. Now we're going to get to the wheel well, and then we're going to look underneath the bumper to see what's fast. So this piece here is called the bumper stay, right? It makes the bumper stay on the car. And this part is most usually broken in an accident. And you can see that right here, it's pretty damaged. That the bumper's not even attached. It was just held on by duct tape. So this might be a part that you have to order. I always check this part on every car. Whenever I'm in a whenever there's a front end collision, you always want to check your bumper stay. And so you can see where the bumper is still attached. The way the cars are designed is for the bumper to leave the car. It's only a fascia, which means it's just a cosmetic feature. It doesn't really do anything to protect in an accident. But these pieces are very common. What you want to look for is this part at the top where the bumper actually attaches. Also where your fasteners attach and where it attaches to the car, to make sure that this clip is intact. So now all the bolts are off. I just pull it off. And you see how easy a bumper can come off of a car. Now one thing I notice, if you see this sticker here, it's already been replaced once before. Here's the other clip. There's just part of it is here. So this is a Kappa certified part. Right, that means it's from Keystone. So this bumper has already been replaced one time. So sometimes that's when you want to look back here to make sure that your styrofoam, see there's a slight crack in it right here. So it could be replaced, but it's on the opposite side. But see, this is where the car got hit. So there is some damage to this inner foam core. So in a body shop, we would replace this piece because of the damage here and the damage up here. And this piece just simply fits in there with a couple of nubs. So you can see where it's distorted. And so it's already been in one collision. And now here you can see where the other part of the collision was, is that the inner reinforcement is smashed. So it was in a pretty bad collision, and somebody just put the bumper fascia on and didn't do a complete replacement of this car. So this car was repaired incorrectly. So I don't know if there's any recourse on this job, but that's unfortunate. Okay, now every car has wheel wells, and it depends on how they're fastened. Sometimes they're Torx head screws, sometimes they're clips, sometimes they're Phillips head. This one has clips, so I just go around, I try to save them the best I can. So I pop the head up like that, and then come in behind it. And you got to be careful if you're going to save the fender, right? If you're going to reuse this fender, you can see how flexible the fender is. I could really actually dent the fender just by prying too hard on the fender, and I could actually do damage down here. So now the wheel well's loose, and there are only 2 clips in there. So now a lot of times I'll just use a DeWalt screwdriver. So that's the front of the fender. And we'll do along the top. Now see, this is the clip that held in the headlight. So you're going to need to look in all your parts along these holes for any plastic clips that you might need to put the car back together. And you can see how that when you have all that torque on the tool, like you could actually, if it's too tight, you can do damage. That's why I don't like to use these tools too much, because you can actually cause damage. Okay, now you've got the fender off, now it's time to check the wheel well. And you can see right here that it's ripped. So on an insurance claim, this would warrant being replaced. You can see that the tabs are worn here. These can't really be fixed. This is super thin plastic. These parts aren't that expensive, but see, there's another rip here. So this inner wheel well would be replaced.